Kari Fulton is an award-winning environmental justice consultant, advocate, and cultural historian. She's here in Washington, D.C. to talk to us more about the UN Environmental Assembly happening in Nairobi right now. So looking at what is happening, are you optimistic about what you've seen and heard so far?
I think it's a great move. I think there's a lot of really positive discussions, and it's good to see the world coming together and looking at not just the bigger picture of pollution, but really breaking it down and then thinking about how we create real economic solutions that are sustainable for our planet and for the growth of our future. So I really like what I see so far.
You know, we just saw the UN holding COP23 in Bonn. Do you think that there's momentum globally when it comes to climate and the environment?
I do think that there's momentum globally, and I think that even though we have a situation here in the United States where some people are trying to push us back, there is a whole world that is ready to move forward, and that's exciting to see.
6 people were just recognized for being champions of the earth. I want to get your take on the winners. 3 of the 6 are from China, the other half from the Americas, and then they're recognizing the younger people, the next generation. Just your thoughts on what you've seen with these winners.
I think they're great. I think some of them are especially really courageous, and I see some of their practices in my daily life. We have Mobikes all over Washington, D.C., and that's added a huge amount of mobility, especially for younger people who may not have had access to a bike. So I see that, and also for people who are lower income. So in my own neighborhood, I see Mobike riders riding all over the city, and that's given them a lift up in being able to get around and live their daily lives. I'm also excited to hear about the work that's coming out of China and looking at desertification and challenging that and changing that. So what he's doing is really going to change the world.
In the United States, there is still some uncertainty when it comes to the Paris Climate Accord, but several groups have pledged to uphold Paris. You have a group of governors of various states, a mayor's group of cities. Do you think those efforts and their efforts will be an effective workaround, so to speak, to whatever U.S. President Donald Trump decides?
I think that's the solution that we need in the first place. America, our federal government is always changing when we talk about the executive in the White House, and that mood can always change every 4 to 8 years. But when we have cities and when we have individuals who are ready to make those life-changing commitments, that's the progress that's going to help us to reach our voluntary commitments in a real way. So even here in Washington, D.C., our mayor has pledged to make this one of the greenest and most sustainable cities in the world. So I think that that is where we need to move. If we have major cities moving that way, and then also working with their surrounding suburbs and counties to get them on board as well.
All right, Kari Fulton, thank you for your insight.